China and Zambia have agreed to take their relationship to the next level. Foreign ministers of the two countries met on Sunday evening and agreed to step up implementation of a framework agreed at the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation FOCAC summit in 2015. China will help Zambia industrialize, modernize its agriculture and strengthen governance. Zambia says it hopes to attract more Chinese investment to help it bounce back from a slump in global commodity prices. Zambia is also looking for financial support to sustain infrastructural projects.
We are cooperating with each other to write a new chapter of economic development. China has become the second largest trading partner, the main source of investment and major contractor in infrastructure development in Zambia. The over 500 companies and over $3 billion in investment made by China has created more than 50,000 long-term job opportunities, and we have built nearly 100 infrastructure projects.
I also want to take this opportunity to reaffirm my government's position on the One China policy, which Zambia will continue upholding. I also want to acknowledge, Your Excellency, that China is one of Zambia's valued cooperating partners, and that this partnership is manifested in a diversity of projects that we have seen China embark upon here in Zambia.
Well, CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya is following the foreign minister's visit in Lusaka. He's joining me now live. Farai, China and Zambia have agreed to take their relationship to the next level. What more can you tell us about this development?
Well, indeed, from that report just a short while ago, China is one of the biggest investors in Zambia already. And what Zambia and China have agreed is to take that to the next level in terms of bringing in more investment, bringing in more capital, but beyond just that, where it has largely been government-led, to make it more private sector and market-led, where private businesses can also tap into Chinese technology, tap into Chinese skills and development to be able to industrialize and develop the industrial base here, to diversify the economy. Zambia largely depended on copper, and it's counting on China to help it process and manufacture other things other than just copper and grow its industry in that regard. But beyond that as well, they're saying let's follow up on some of those issues that were agreed, on the funding that was agreed at the last FOCAC summit, and make them a reality. And earlier today it was announced that Zambia has already tabled over 5 projects in which it is seeking that assistance. Beyond economic development and financial issues, there's also the issue of diplomacy, where Zambia is counting on China to help it push for some things that are very common for Africa. For instance, reform of the United Nations to get a permanent seat on the Security Council for Africa. So those are just, in a nutshell, some of the issues that were discussed here and ways in which this relationship is seen being accelerated and taken to a next level going forward. Beatrice.
Well, Farai, the foreign minister was also scheduled to meet with the Zambian president, Edgar Lungu. Has that meeting happened? And if not, what's likely to be on that agenda?
Well, indeed, that meeting took place first thing this morning. The foreign minister called on a State House here in Lusaka and met President Edgar Lungu. They met for about an hour and a half. And some of the issues that they discussed there were, again, issues of speeding up and stepping up the cooperation. As I said, Zambia has identified 5 areas where it's looking for assistance, and those are agriculture, natural resource development, human resource development, tourism, and industrialization. And it said that it's put forward 5 proposals and looks to benefit from those in the coming year. The foreign minister said that despite a global economic slowdown, China is committed to meeting its commitments, the commitments that it made at FOCAC, and will continue to support countries like Zambia, who are some of the major beneficiaries of Chinese support here in Africa. Beyond that, there was also talk of diplomatic relations, as I said earlier. Zambia, reform of the United Nations and the Security Council, the continued support of China in mediating Africa's hotspots and assisting in issues of governance and supporting African governments going forward. Lastly, they agreed that, visits like this should be followed up. Certainly, Zambia is saying they want a follow-up visit. They've been to China. Now they're hoping that President Xi Jinping on his next visit, or the next leg of his visit to Africa, will also honor Zambia as the foreign minister has done here by coming here and seeing what's on the ground, the reality of the projects that have happened on the ground and the transformation that China is hoping to bring to this African country.
Right, Farai Mwakutuye for us there in Lusaka, Zambia.